first of all, focus on it, right? I mean, I think like you basically get what you spend your time doing, right? I mean, I want the company to build 3 products this year. I mean, we're going to work on a few others because people are interested in them, but those are the 3 things that I'm spending my product time on, right? You get what you put into it. If you spend a third of your time trying to make the people around you better through getting better people, mentoring, getting them to be better, getting the best people in your organization who you know into more impactful roles, then I think over time that just accrues and you get a better organization. Facebook. We've had this tradition for, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years at the company, where every week we have a Q&A where our employees can come and ask me any question that they want about what's going on and what the direction of the company is, or questions or things that they read about in the press, or that their friends who use the product, what they're asking them. And it's been this really important tradition for us, both because we really believe in openness and communication, and that's kind of what Facebook is all about. But it's also really important for me and for running the company to be able to get feedback, right? And to be able to learn what's on people's minds, what our employees and folks who are part of our team are thinking about, and just kind of a lot of the time there are good questions that people ask that change the way that we think about what we're building and what we're here to do in the world. And that often make us go think and reevaluate. There are a few kind of simple heuristics. I don't hire people who I wouldn't work for myself. I think that that's a really good heuristic because everyone knows this, like, there's this saying like A players hire A players and B players hire C players, which is like good people hire good people. Yeah. And I don't think that that's that informative, right? Because I mean, what are you going to say? Like, to someone in your organization,
hire better
you're a B
people.
player, you don't get to hire people. Like, I mean, no. I mean, and I think a lot of the time the problem is you don't actually know. I mean, sometimes you're like trying to figure out how good someone is. If you didn't think they were good, you wouldn't have hired them. But the heuristic of only hiring people who you would work for tends to be pretty good, I think, because then it's like then that you know, right? It's like I would not work for this person. Then okay, I'm not going to like stretch just because I need to fill a role today. So I mean, right? I mean, like I always kind of like, I get a little upset whenever any media attention focuses on me personally and me leading Facebook, much less a movie.
It's been kind of a bad year, hasn't it?
It turned out okay.
Time, Academy.
It turned out good. The time thing was awesome. That was really flattering. But like, but I think that it's one of these things that the media systematically gets wrong, is that this idea that it's a person, right? It's never a person, right? It's always a team. And the most important thing if you are an entrepreneur trying to build something is you need to build a really good team. And that's what I spend a lot of my time on, right? I mean, I spend probably at least 3 hours a day with our core team, right, and doing things. I spend probably 25% of my time recruiting, finding good people, both outside the company and inside the company, to put in more impactful roles. Thing, and kind of that's how it builds. But the students around me were really important as well, right? And both in high school and in college, I mean, the people who started Facebook with me and a lot of the people who are still with me running the company today are people who I met when I was at Harvard. And some of them were my TFs at Harvard, right? And you know, when the professors were off writing papers, these were the people who actually taught me, and then we hung out and we had like social bonds and academic bonds. And I wouldn't understate the importance of that. And I mean, it's very tied into my whole philosophy and the product that I spend my life building, Facebook, because we just believe that social bonds are critical. And you know, one way that I think about the value that Facebook is filling in the world is that, you know, you go through school, and at least when I did, people just focused on, you know, academics, like achievement, different areas. And one of the things that no one really ever taught me was like, having friends is really valuable. No, not that I didn't have friends, but like, although, you know, the movie,
yes,
right, make it seem that but
that first
like,
girlfriend.
But for sure, I don't think anyone is like,
it's not like, okay, third grade, we're gonna teach you that hanging out with people is a very important development, right? And I don't know, I actually think that is. And I think that that's part of the reason why sometimes people view Facebook as a waste of time, but I actually think it's this extremely socially valuable utility. And I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without that aspect of my life being as developed as the academic part.